they do this. And they get closer and closer and bolder and bolder. So one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody. Runs like the wind, eats everything in his path.
Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I'll be talking about another MGTOW topic. Topic in this video will be men should keep their bloodlines pure. Now this video may be offensive. There's going to be racial stuff in here. So if any of that stuff offends you, please click away. But I have the balls to address this topic, unlike a lot of other people out there that cower away and say, oh yeah, you know. There's stuff going on today, right? And why do I say men should keep their bloodlines pure? As a MGTOW, I don't really plan on reproducing, but the thought crossed my mind several times. And if I were to reproduce, it would be somebody of pure bloodline, strong bloodline, and somebody similar to me. Now, if you think bloodlines aren't powerful, and you don't think that bloodlines mean anything, you're kidding yourself. Look into society. Look everywhere. Look into the powerful bloodlines running the society right now. Rothschild, Goldman Sachs, you know. All these Jews, they intertwine with each other. You know, the Jews stick with the Jews, you know. If you look into the Jewish faith, Jewish men call women of other races and other religions, they have a specific word for it, but the translation is like filthy, unclean animal. This is what Jews call all different types of women except Jews, you know? And bloodlines do hold strength, people. They really do. And I see a lot of stuff going on right now. There is definitely racial tension. There is sort of a racial chaos going on right now. And even in my family itself, you know, my cousins and a lot of other relatives are interracially mingling. You know, my cousins and all this stuff, they have children with wives of different ethnicities, whether Hispanic or African American or whatever. And I see what's going on, you know. I have the balls to address this topic, you know. And before you go on this whole, like, scientific rant saying that, oh yeah, scientists say that, you know, the whole reproduction thing is that you're supposed to pass on your seed and your genetics to something diverse, so that way it diversifies and strengthens and stuff like that. To a certain degree, that's true. But look at it from this perspective. For one strength, there is like around 100 different weaknesses when it comes to interracial intertwining. Look at dogs, okay? A German Shepherd, a purebred German Shepherd will be a quality dog. Now, take that German Shepherd, a purebred German Shepherd, and mix it with another dog. That dog that comes out is going to be a mutt. It's going to be a mixture. It's going to have weaknesses. It's going to have the weaknesses of the German Shepherd and the weaknesses of the other breed that it breeds with, so to speak, you know? Look at the Chihuahua, for example. A lot of people say, oh yeah, you know, this genetic stuff is great. You know, look at the Chihuahua. Yeah, look at the Chihuahua. Those dogs have hypertension. They drop dead from heart attacks very often. You put them in very hot temperatures, they just drop dead. You put them in very cold temperatures, they drop dead. They're sort of a weak species of dogs because they were so diversified when it came to genetics. You know, to get a Chihuahua, you need to mix a whole bunch of different breeds of dogs to get that. So anybody that says, oh yeah, racial mixing is a good thing and diversity, this is the propaganda being promoted by Jews and the elite of the world to just destroy all the strong bloodlines that linger on through society. They want people to mix. They want this intermingling to happen because it weakens bloodlines. Look into the media. Racially diverse children are beautiful. No, to me they look like mutts. Like, you mix a white person with a black person, the kid's gonna look fucking weird as fuck, you know? Same thing with white and Asian. Like, the kids have a lot of trouble in the future anyway, you know? What should I identify as? White, Asian, this and that, you know? So I was thinking of like, oh yeah, if I were to have kids, maybe they would be, maybe I would have an Asian woman be a surrogate mother, or maybe a German, whatever, this and that. But the more I think about it, it's you have to look at the lineage, and you have to look at the bloodlines of those specific people, and you have to pick out a powerful mate, because if I were to have a child with a strong Asian bloodline, that would just enhance certain things, you know? Intelligence, you know, the Chinese Empire, the Asian empires, they were strong empires. They were strong bloodlines. Not so much anymore. There's a lot of beta Asian males, and just, there's a whole femininity going on there. But I'm just saying how it is, you know? So, if you were to reproduce, at least seek out somebody that is close to your lineage and your heritage, you know? I come from a German background. My great-grandfather was Leder. That was his last name, his surname. Leder, which means Leder, which means leather in English, but it's the German word for leather. And he was a shoesmith, a shoemaker, whatever, for Nazi German soldiers. So that's where that stuff comes from. So I'm very grateful for that bloodline, and I'm very grateful for that heritage. You know, I'm Polish and German. So I'm happy. I'm proud of my European background, and I stand by it. You know, there's these other people, these radicals, Black Lives Matters, Hispanic Lives Matters, all these things. Okay, I'm a proud white man, you know? If you're going to go around saying, yeah, Black Lives Matter, okay, white lives matter too, you know? I'm proud of my lineage. I'm proud of my heritage, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But this is where it goes wrong, because everybody wants equality, and everybody wants, you know, things, you know, genders and all these things, and races and religions to co-inhabit in the same environment. Look at the apes, you know? The silverback gorilla is still an ape, and a baboon is still an ape. They come from the same sort of genetic background, but still, if you put a silverback gorilla in the vicinity of baboons, they're going to fight for territory. They're going to fight each other. They're still apes at the end of the day, but they will fight because they are still different. To say we are not different is, you know, there's something wrong with you. There is. Every culture, every religion, every race has its own things. And to mix those things, it's fucked up. You see, I've dated Hispanic chicks, you know, I've dated white chicks, I've dated, you know, several different races and all that stuff, and it just, there's a sense of uncomfort that happens, you know? It's like, you date Hispanic chicks, you know, you're expected to start speaking Spanish, you're gonna start eating Hispanic food. Maybe you don't like that because it doesn't agree with your palate, maybe it doesn't agree with your stomach, and all these things, and it's the same with everything else, you know. Here in America, it's weird. You have black people celebrating Kwanzaa, you have Jewish people celebrating Yom Kippur, or whatever it's called, and then you have white people or Christian people celebrating Christmas, and it's all intertwined, but it's just so strange. To me, people should be with their own people. Like, I went to a racially diverse school where there was, not necessarily racially diverse, because there were only like 2 white people in the whole damn school, me and this other kid. It was a majority of black kids and Hispanic kids. And let me tell you, it was uncomfortable. It was really uncomfortable. And for me to say otherwise, it just wouldn't be honest, because I would rather hang out with like sort of schmucky, you know, skater punk white kids than like super ghetto, you know, black kids. It just, and that's the same thing. If you put a super ghetto black kid in a school with a whole bunch of white skater punks and a bunch of stuck-up white girls, whatever, they will not feel comfortable in that environment. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to put people into uncomfortable environments and pretend that everything's alright, and pretend that, you know, yeah, everything should be, you know, everything's going to be beautiful. It's not the way it is, people. So, I stick to my own lineage, I stick to my own heritage. There's nothing wrong with pumping and dumping women of different races and stuff like that, but if you're willingly gonna inseminate a woman of a different race, you're doing your whole bloodline, you're doing your whole lineage, you know, you're forsaking your lineage. You're disgracing your roots, you know. Those roots get weaker and weaker and weaker, like a tree, for example. If a tree is spliced with a tree of different genetics, it may, like I said, bloom differently. It might have different flowers and stuff, but deep down in the roots are weaker and they're more susceptible to different diseases. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with humans, you know. We're all, you know, biologically animals, and it's all intertwined. Like I said, I see what's going on in my own family. It's just like these children come out as mutts. Like, it's really fucked up to see, and I would never do that. And you could say, "Oh, that's racist." You know, you just don't like them because they're racially mixed. No, I see the weaknesses and I see the disadvantages. You know, they're like half white, half Hispanic, and it's like there's certain characteristics, and what should they do if they have a father of like sort of European background and a mother of South African background? Like, what kind of food are they gonna eat? What are they gonna do? You know, it's causing more chaos for the child, unnecessary chaos too. And this whole racially diverse thing has been spewed for many years now, but it's sort of like a recent thing too. Racial mixing is a beautiful thing. No, it's not. You're weakening your bloodline. You know, you're weakening your bloodline. Like I said, a mutt dog is not going to be as intelligent and as strong as a purebred dog. It's just not going to happen. And I go back to the Jews again. Jews do not mix with inferior people. If they do, if there's a if there's a Jewish man that impregnates a black woman, whatever, he's sort of ostracized. He's not a real Jew. You see, real Jews stick to their own people, or they marry into wealthy, rich, powerful bloodlines, like what's going on with the whole Trump situation here. You know, his daughters are dating Jewish men, and those Jewish men want to get into that lineage, and they want to get into that empire. And Donald Trump also has a lot of Jewish associates and a lot of Jewish people under him. I'm not going to get into that, but you know, it's a little bit fishy too. I support Trump to a certain degree, but in certain degrees I don't, you know? Anyway, people, hope that helped. Hope that cleared something up. You know, if you're a MGTOW, it's nice to think about these things, you know? It's, like I said, I don't plan on reproducing, but, you know, having that and having a wide spectrum and a wide view of things, I realize what would be the best option for me. You know, it might not be the best option for other MGTOWs. Other MGTOWs, maybe they're like, oh, I'm fine with having a Latina girlfriend and me being white and having kids and all that stuff. That's your thing, you know, I respect that. But me, no, it's not how it rolls, people. Pump and dump, yes. Anything more than that, no.